Freedom fighters, I'm coming back at you with another Manic Monday rant. And on this video, I wanted to expand a little on the video I just recently did on Friday about the shooting of the National Guard, and how I was talking about Sarah Beckstrom passing away and how it was hitting the fan for her and for her family. And then I also talked about a video I did a little after Charlie Kirk passed, and I can't remember exactly what the title was or something. It was like SHTF is here. And it's what I've always talked about throughout the years of where, like Tim Pool and a lot of creators will be like, it's not a civil war, it's a culture war, it's a cold war and a back and forth, yet over and over and again these events happen, and I'm like, no, it is hitting the fan. It's just hitting the fan for them now in this moment, and it's not hitting for you. And there used to be this one meme I used to always post a lot that was just, it nailed it on the head. I gotta see if I can find this and try to post it. Yeah, here it is. It says, they aren't going to declare martial law and round everyone up in a week. They're simply making a list of who to disarm, arrest, and send to prison. And that's exactly what we see with the new AI, all the databases. You've got Palantir, and they just announced this program Gideon or something like that. And I've often said, like, when Elon bought X, I'm like, I think this is just a way to like out people and like have you express your thoughts, and hey, making videos like this, YouTube creators, we're social media in general. When you're posting stuff, it's all just going into the AI, NSA, CIA, deep state database where they're gonna mine all this, know who you are, and they're coming to kill you. I mean, it's just that simple. And then he said, there's never gonna be some big trigger event, something that kicks off another civil war revolution. The truth is, shit will hit the fan, one household at a time. You'll certainly know when it hits the fan for you, but you'll be alone. And that goes to what I've always said, the message on the channel: we are on our own. And just like it says there, there's not going to be this um nationwide all-encompassing collapse or this flashbulb moment that kicks something off, where everyone is assured, like, oh, it's war, right? Oh, this is war. Like, if Red Dawn, I often talked about that, like, where I said, I'm not signing up to fight for the country. I don't want to join the military because I don't believe the military fights on behalf of the country. But if you ever saw soldiers parachuting out of the sky, there's no question about what to do. And in that moment, I will come to the aid of the country. I will fight for the country. And again, I'm making the point is, what to do. You shoot first and ask questions later. And no, you're not like worried, like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be trials after this, or I wonder if they're going to hold up any local state or locality laws or something. Oh, you can't discharge a firearm here in the city, or you can't have that. If you magically pull out, a belt-fed machine gun or something, you think they're going to be like, hey, that thing's against the law. Nobody's going to question it, and all things are off the table. You're being invaded. It's a clear, war in the streets. There are no rules, right? You can just act upon it. And it, short of a literal Red Dawn invasion like that, where planes are flying and they're some foreign country is, bringing in submarines or launching missiles on the coast, and tanks are crossing the border of, Mexico or Canada for that fact. It's like that is a clear shit hit the fan. But most people see it as, these events. And I did a video on Bill Cooper back a while. For some reason it started getting a bunch of views. Just people writing comments on it the other day, and it's like 2 years old. But anyway, that's not the point. But in that video, he says, the stuff I'm doing and everything, it's constitutionally protected. And if you don't know who he is, you need to look him up. But he's like, what I'm doing here is perfectly within my rights. And if the Civil War has to start at my doorstep, then so be it. But it won't, right? And that's the thing. He got in that mindset of like, and he had an audience, right? He had a radio show and a newsletter, a subscription. He was talking in building. He was holding meetings. He was selling tickets to his show. He was selling books, and he thought like-minded people and the militia in his community and stuff were going to come to his aid and come to his side and defend, what he was doing. And nobody came. And I've talked about this a lot. We are on our own, and no one's coming to help you. And everyone thinks like, oh yeah, the time when the government comes to take my guns, when the government comes to get me on my speech, or whatever it is that you do in this Orwellian police state, people are going to stand up and be by my side. No one's going to do anything. You're dying alone. And it's just what I've come to the conclusion like that. I'm not calling, anyone to come die with me. PNW Gorilla put out a video, or no, I think this was just like an X poll or something, where he said, how many people in your friend group or in your militia or your mag or whatever you want to call it are gonna fight beside you and actually are willing to die for you. And I was thinking about it, and I have a few, and I've always kind of thought about it like, that we're gonna fight, side by side with each other and all that. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna call these people. A lot of these people I've been friends for 10 plus years, some of them 20 plus years. I went to school with, since first grade and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not going to call these people to their death. For what reason? I'm going to go on my own. I've got my faith, in the Lord with Christ. And that's been my message from day one. We are on our own. Ain't no one coming to save us. But, everyone has this idea. And like I said, man, these videos and everything, and I know I'm pretty much talking probably to a crowd of feds. Hey, that's probably the only people who are watching these videos anyway. I probably have, a couple. Most of these videos get like 50 to 100 views. Probably 10 to 20 of you are real genuine people, and then it's just a crowd of feds. And they're probably listening right now, like in shock. Oh man, he's starting to get it. And then, everyone's accusing people of being feds. And, I've had people message me and stuff before, definitely with some, weird stuff. But, and I'm just not falling for it. People are trying to, goad you into stuff. And the only way you're getting me, you got to honeypot me with a real nice piece, if you know what I'm talking about. What's her name? JJ from Criminal Minds. Jennifer Giroux. Yeah, you send me a JJ over here, and she can be like, hey, Freedom, like, we should drill third holes, or, go to this meeting in, do something. And, I'll do it for JJ. But, for all the other feds in the chat and for the dudes, you know who you are. For the dudes who has sent me messages like, hey, let's meet up and do this. And, hey, try to sell me firearms and all that. I'm like, bro, I'm not, I'm not that stupid. So it goes for that. And that's another point I wanted to make. The feds are always out here trying to entrap, actual patriots, and rather than going after um real criminals and stuff like that, foreign and domestic, talking about, you know, domestic enemies. You got Brennan coming out saying that he's leading some kind of revolution behind the scenes and gathering the troops, and we all know his interweaving with intelligence agencies and stuff like that. General Flynn came out last week and was talking about his stuff, and Schumer. You remember when he said they got 7 ways till Sunday to take Trump out, and the intelligence agencies are going after him. You got Mark Kelly and the seditious six coming out and talking about how they need to refuse orders and all this stuff. You got Swalwell out here bragging once again that the military members are coming out to him and saying that, they're not following orders, or, all this stuff. And Pam Bondi's sitting on her desk flipping through papers trying to figure out, who didn't dot their I's and cross their T's to charge them for some bogus, fraud or something. It's literally in front of your face, Pam. And these people are seditious traitors for this nation. They have sold us out for years. And I'm not talking about just these seditious six or these Democrats or anything. It's Republicans. It's all of them. Side by side, the whole system has sold us out. They've sold us out together. The Bush dynasty and all of it. They're all in on it. And there seems to be no actual intending to go after these people for the actual crimes and the destruction of this republic. But again, they come after, you and I for going 5 miles per hour the speed limit or for seat belts, but they can't figure out to lock up these traitors. And I did a video about it, back in the day where I was like, all the gun laws and stuff like that. It seems to, they always arrest these militia members. They always, arrest these people, but they don't go into Harlem, and they don't go into O Block, and they're all over TikTok and showing their switchies and, shooting guns off and everything. And they don't go in there because they know those people shoot back. They're actually about it. And they know you go into that neighborhood, you're going to get shot at. They don't respect the police. They don't back the blue. They shoot at them. And the Patriots are the soft bootlickers that, talk online, but at the end of the day, they ain't doing shit. And we got a news article here about these guys. They raided this bar, full of teenagers and stuff like that, college kids. And they're like, oh, we got them all on underage drinking. They arrested like 200 something people. They, raided the bar, covered the exits, and arrested all these kids and stuff. And someone wrote on a post like, it's all white kids in, I believe, Arizona. So they're like, I bet 80% of those people, their parents are Republicans and voted for them, voted for that sheriff, that county or whatever, and are giving their tax dollars and support to these people. And this is what they decided to go after. And they're a border state. And they're having all kinds of, crime and stuff out there. They don't go after the real criminals. They go after the soft target of a bunch of kids out one night and drinking. And and they got what's her name? Hobbs and the stolen election from Kerry Lake and all these things. They don't go after that. No, they're going after kids for underage drinking. At a tailgate party before some game or something. It's a joke, man. But again, the whole purpose of this video is SHTF is already happening. It's already been happening. And it's going to happen to you and I one by one. They're going to be taking us out. And we're all going to be sitting here. And you're going to be looking to your left and looking to your right when it happens to you. Like, oh, this is going to spark the Civil War. Oh, people are going to be upset about this. People are going to come to my aid. People are going to fight. No, they're not. So that's going to be my message. What it always is we are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. So get right with God. Because only God can save you. Freedom fighters out.